Good morning, everyone. Let's see, Angela's coming in, and then we have a quorum. Kathy, Andy's not going to be here, and PJ's not going to be here.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, David.
Morning, David.
All right, we have a quorum, Kathy, whenever you're ready.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'll go ahead and get the BPRC meeting started. We'll start with a roll call of members.
All right, Andy, present. Kathy,
Here.
Rick's here. PJ's not here. Angela, she's here. Liz is not here. Richard Connor, not here. David's here. I'm here. Tina from the treasurer's office, not here. Darren from fire's not here. Steve from tax claims, not here. Mr. Lavery is here. And then we have Jason and Aaron Carey as attendees. All right.
Okay, great. We have a quorum. Anyone get a chance to review the minutes of last meeting? If so,
Yeah, move for approval.
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Minutes are approved. Any public comment? Anyone? We have a few people from the public, but not sure anyone's here to comment.
Nobody reached out to me expressing an interest to comment unless anybody in attendance wants to, so.
All right, move on to secretary's report.
All right, so right now we have 161 blighted properties on the list. 28 of those are Erie Land Bank properties, which includes the 18 that the authority has filed eminent domain action against. We're moving forward with those. We've had 2 preliminary objections to 2 properties on that list, so those will be going. The one is scheduled for a hearing next Tuesday, and then the other one has yet to be scheduled. So we'll continue moving forward on those and hopefully have those, finalized here in the next month or so. So that's all I have for a secretary report.
All right, we have any correspondence?
The only correspondence we had was from Sumner Nichols, provided a detailed plan for the property that we had blighted of his last month before, and his plan, he outlaid the contractors who was going to do what, and a pretty, at least a plan for the property. So that we received that from him in the last month.
Okay, then what happens next with that, Aaron?
I put it in the file, Mike puts it in his file, and then we'll monitor moving forward whether or not he actually does what he said he was going to do. So.
Okay. All right, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Any old business?
No old business, nothing for this month.
Okay, so we'll get into the new business. Mike?
Okay, we have 8 of them this month. First up, 261 East 31st Street. The current owners have had it since '07. This is a product of divorce. So from what I understand, what I was able to gather, the owners got divorced. The wife doesn't want anything to do with it at all. And the husband is in Virginia somewhere, not responding to anything. We've sent notices to the address we had for him for Virginia and to this address in particular. I think one of the neighbors is cutting the front grass, but the back grass is extremely high. There's two abandoned vehicles on the property. The front porch's ceiling is collapsing. Let's see. The water has been off since April of 2015. There are water liens on this property according to the Water Authority. And there are back fees owed of over 500 for water and over 800 for sewer and garbage. We've sent notices out in July of 20, 2 notices out, one of July 12th of 20, one of July 30th of 20, and one of August of 20. And then I sent a repair demo order in June of this year. None of that was responded to. So then we even tried to post the notices to the door to see if anyone's coming back to check on the property, and they remained there. They were cited August 3rd of this year, and results are outstanding. They haven't answered the citation.
Any questions or comments from the board? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to blight.
Second.
Rich and Aaron seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Property is blighted.
Okay, next up, we have 650 East 24th Street. This is another out-of-town owner. She's had it since May 10th of 2019. And the original case came out May 14th of 2019. There was some junk and garbage and junk and debris out front. She did comply to that. Then it started piling up again. According to the neighbors, she's in, I think, what did I say? She lives in New York, New Jersey. And supposedly, according to the neighbors, she's deceased. We tried to find obituaries in New Jersey, and we definitely couldn't find one in Erie. And we tried to find obituaries in New Jersey to verify this, and we couldn't. But we've sent notices out in July of 20, August of 20, June of this year. All of them were unanswered. And then we've sent quality of life tickets in July of this year that went unanswered. And we sent a repair demo notice August 31st of this year that was unanswered. The taxes are current, but I suspect this is one where the banks are paying the taxes, possibly waiting to take it. The water's been off since June of last year, June 15th of 2020. And there's a water balance of over $3,500 and a sewer and garbage of $2,700. It's abandoned and vacant. There has been squatters that we've chased out of there a couple times. And there's a little alley in the back that people are dumping junk and debris into.
Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, get a motion.
I'll move.
David moves to blight. Do I have a second? Angela, I think was seconding. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, property's blighted.
Okay, next up, we have 630 East 9th Street. This is another out-of-town owner from York, PA. He's had other properties on the blighted property list. This is another EPD nuisance. They're the ones that brought this to my attention. They've chased squatters out of there a couple times. This is another porch that's collapsing, front porch roof that is collapsing. We sent notices. The first case started in August of 2010, and there were some porch repairs needed, and that was complied with, but obviously it didn't hold up. And then August 15th of 2017, we sent notices. June of this year, we've sent notices, and I posted a repair demo order June of this year. And I just went August 30th to secure the door again. I'm going to this place probably twice a month to secure it. We secure it, they rip the boards off, they open the door again. There's repeat squatters in there that we've had the police have to remove more than once. The water's been off since December of 2016. There are back taxes owed on it dated back to 2019, over $4,000. I talked to the water authority. There are no balances on the water or the sewer and garbage, but they were paid out of a bankruptcy account. The repair, just to note, the repair demo order, the owner did file an appeal to appeal my repair demo order stating that I misinterpreted the code when I posted the repair demo order. So I'm not sure where that appeal process is. It's in the solicitor's hands right now. I think they were waiting for the appeals fee to process, to set the appeals hearing up.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Oh, one last note on this. This one's also filled with rodents. There's a groundhog infestation under the porch and under the driveway that jumped out at me when I went there. So that wakes you up.
Nice. Is this owner, do you know if they own other properties in the city?
I think the redevelopment authority had dealings with them. On a property that was declared blighted a couple of years ago, right, Aaron?
Yeah, the property owned by them was under the land bank's first work plan. And we finally, after a court order, got possession of that 3 months ago.
I fully
Okay.
expect an appeal to this one just because I think they're going to appeal everything, but not do anything to the property.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Can I
as
get a
far as-
motion? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as far as, with the one on Poplar Street, he's an attorney. It was a bad business deal between him and another person that they both basically bailed on the properties that they invested on in the city. They live out of town.
Mhm. All right, can I get a motion to blight?
So moved.
Okay, Rich, a second.
Second.
Second from Dave, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it's blighted.
Okay, next up, we have a commercial property at 1319 Parade Street. This, I believe, was an old barber shop at one point in time. It's been sitting abandoned and vacant for quite a while. Their taxes owed back to 2020, $2,100. There are water liens on the property. The water's been off since February 14th of 2008. There's a $300 delinquent amount on water and $194 delinquent amount on sewer and garbage. We have sent notices out originally starting back to July of 2013. And we've sent notices out in March of 16, November of 20, excuse me, and April 4th of this year, I issued a repair demo order. In September of 14, they were cited and started doing some work. So the officer withdrew the citation and then the work stopped. It's got the rear deck back there looks unsafe and is collapsing. It's a fire escape. And the back half of the brick is just collapsing, caving in. I mentioned that there are water liens. This is a local owner that's owned it since 1993. There is interest in this property from surrounding neighbors and businesses if they were ever to wish to sell it. And I think a couple of times the sale has come close and then it fell through for whatever reason. I'm not sure.
It's a restaurant right next door, right?
I believe so. I think there's a couple commercial properties adjoining it. My fear is if it does get sold, I'm presenting it for a blight designation because I want to make sure, regardless of who the owner is, it's repaired and brought up to code. Hands has a nice property across the street from this that they've been redeveloping and doing a nice job on as well. So they're kind of doing a lot in that neighborhood and helping that neighborhood come along.
Yeah, I think it's right down the road from Annapurna Kitchen. The new Nepalese, Bhutanese, restaurant. I just walked by it last 2 weeks ago because that's where I went to eat. Anyway, can I get any questions or comments from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Aaron moved to blight.
Aaron moves. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Angela seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Moving on.
Okay, next up, we have 324 East 22nd Street. This one's been in our system for a while. The original case dates back to July 22nd of 2015 when a notice was sent. A notice was also sent in April of 16. And then a repair of demo order was sent in May of this year, or I'm sorry, August of this year, as well as another notice for the porch in May of this year. They were cited in June of 16 for not boarding up the house. They boarded up the house and then a citation was withdrawn. And then they were cited again in April of 17 for the exterior repairs. And there was 4 30-day continuances consecutively, with the owner stating that he was waiting on funding or they were going to use this property to teach youth the trades. There was all kinds of plans that never came to fruition with this house dating back to 2017. And then eventually in September of 18, the district justice had enough with the continuances and fined him guilty $300. The water's been off since August 18th of 2016. There's $230 owed on water and $435 owed in sewer and garbage. There are back taxes to 2020 over $2,000. And this one had a tree that fell on it and collapsed that porch. And it took forever to finally get the tree cleaned up, but we got the tree cleaned up. The porch still remains collapsing. And there are 2 abandoned cars on the lot. I'm not sure if they belong to the property owner or not, but they've been there for quite a while.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board? Can I get a motion?
Move.
David moves to blight. Rich, were you seconding that?
Yes. Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hand. Anyone opposed? No, motion carries.
Next up, we have 2321 Cameron Road. From what I understand, this was a Habitat for Humanity project that was built and supposed to be taken over by the current owners. They took it over, but never finished it or did anything they were supposed to. It's another product of divorce. The wife doesn't want it, and the husband is MIA. Nobody's heard from him or seen him in quite a while, despite several attempts to reach out to them. We've sent notices in May of 16, in September of 17, June of 18, and then issued a repair demo order in August of this month. There are multiple liens, I think 4 or 5 grass cutting liens. We have the grass cut every single year. This one is savable. It could be brought back to life and rehabbed. The taxes are current, but the water's been off since July 14th of 2015. There are no outstanding balances on the water. I know Habitat would probably like to take this back if they could to finish what they started. It's definitely a savable structure. It's structurally sound. It's just neglected and abandoned.
Any questions from the board?
So would moving it to blight move that process along if Habitat wanted it back?
Yes. The moving it to blight would, then the notice gives the owner the time to respond, and then the time of which the redevelopment authority could request that it be declared or certified blighted by the planning commission, and then move into the eminent domain process.
Okay, thank you.
All right, can I get a motion then?
Motion to
I'll
blight.
move.
Oh, Aaron, motion. Dave, you want to second that?
Sure, second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next up, we have 947 West 9th Street. This is an abandoned church. This one, I'm presenting it for blight with an attempt to save the property. It's a really historical building that has a lot of potential, but has been abandoned and neglected. And my hope is if we could get control of it and put it in the hands of someone that would like to do something with it, we could save the building before it decays too far along. There was a roof leak in one area that collapsed through the office, but the remainder of the building can still be saved. It's right in a really nice area, and it's a historically looking cool building. We haven't gotten any responses to any of our attempts. We sent notices out in December of 20, April of this year, and the repair demo in April of this year. We even cited the church with hopes that somebody would respond and come forward. They did not. No one showed up at the hearing, and they were found guilty and fined $300. The water's been off since July 31st of 2019. The taxes are current, but I think only because they're exempt. They're exempt to tax status. The current owners have had it since 2009, March 18th of 2009. And I really would hope to save this building. Now, there are also two adjoining properties east and west of this that I didn't think we had enough cases on to blight along with this that I'll present at a later date. But they're high grass and abandoned vehicle violations. So there's 3 parcels in a row that belong to this church, and we can't get anyone to step forward to help or take ownership or responsibility to the work that needs done to it.
Any questions or comments? I know, Jason, you're probably on the call to comment on this property.
Yes, I can share more info if you'd like. The pastor of the church told me about 3 years ago. See you later. I learned he moved to Toledo. We've been in contact with the bank. It's KeyBank. I reached out locally to a KeyBank representative. They put me in touch with another banker in Cleveland, which then resulted in a call from an attorney out of Pittsburgh who offered if we knew of anybody that would be interested in a direct foreclosure. With that, he issued us a non-disclosure to review the financials. I shared that with ROS Bayfront when we had that put in their name so that we could share that information with a larger group. After we filled out that form and submitted to the lawyer, they've ghosted us for about the last 6 months. We have not heard back from them. So I'm of the opinion that this property is now owned by the bank and is not providing nonprofit services. It should be a taxable property, and that the city needs a mechanism to go after these kind of situations that are probably going to become, unfortunately, more frequent in the future. Also adding, there's a huge rodent infestation. There's raccoons throughout. It's been an issue. And I live right next door in the parsonage. So. Also, it's a bike drop for stolen bikes in the neighborhood if the cops have been tracking on.
Okay.
I did
Just for
reach
those
out-
who don't know, Jason, like you said, he's a neighbor. He sees this, been seeing this, watching this property decline for years, and really has pointed it out to the city on a number of occasions that it's been a problem. It's still worth saving, but there's been no, as he said, no response from, the responsible parties for the property. And I think that's one of the roles that the BPRC can play, is to try to motivate someone to move on a property when it's still salvageable. So any questions or comments from the rest of the board?
Just one comment. I did reach out to Steve with the Tax Claim Bureau about the question of whether or not, a property that's tax exempt, how, somebody would go about appealing that or getting that exemption removed. He sent the question over to the assessment office, since it is, in his words, never been asked before. So I'm still waiting to hear back on that from Steve in the assessment office.
Yeah, that's a good question. I believe that's something that the city can appeal. It's either one of the taxing bodies, the city, the school district, or the county could ask for that reassessment. So that's something that Mike, we could talk to Ed Betza about. And maybe that'll help spur some movement as well.
I think one of the neighbors is cutting the grass, which is the only reason the grass isn't a mile high. I think you are? Okay. I think all of the surrounding neighbors kind of look after the building, but I would really like to see it saved and brought back to life.
We decidedly let the grass grow on the western lot.
I did see that. Yeah.
I don't know if they're separate lots though. last I checked the county website, I think it's all one contiguous, because my house was separated out when I purchased it.
I think we looked it up and I thought they were 3 different lots, but I'll verify that.
Yeah, according to the tax office, it's 3 separate parcels.
I would add the van is overlapping the property line that's parked on the lot. It's not my property line, it's my neighbor's. I've encouraged them to call and complain to you folks, but it's been,
We're working on that one as well.
appreciate it.
Okay, can I get a motion on the property?
I'll move.
Rich moves to
Second.
blight. Dave seconds. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you,
Yes,
everybody.
Okay, next up, we have 2716 Van Buren Avenue. This is another one where we think the neighbor either moved away or maybe in a nursing home. They just kind of abandoned the property. There's a ton of trash and garbage bags in the back. We just recently filed a lien with Parks to try to get them to clean it up so it doesn't become a public health hazard. The original case started back in July 8th of 20, we sent a notice out. June of this year and no responses. So then later on in the same month of this year in June, we stickered the door and posted the notices to the door. A lot of times if we don't get a reply in the mail, but they don't get returned by the post office, we assume that they were received and not responded to. So we will post the same notice. We'll either tape it or staple it to the door with hopes that the person's coming back and checking on the property and they'll get the notice. That this wasn't the case with this one. There are back taxes owed to 2020, over $2,500. The water's been off since last August of 2020. There's $48 owed on the water and $244 owed on the sewer and garbage. The current owners own it since 1994. And the neighbors around it this is another case where the neighbors are kind of looking after the building because kids kept breaking into it. So the one neighbor put a motorcycle in front of it. Another neighbor put those timbers on the front porch just to try to give the appearance that someone is there so that people will stop breaking into it. I don't know if I have a picture of the backyard there. Do I? Or I wasn't paying attention, but we just filed a lien with Parks to have them try to clean that up before it becomes more of a problem than it is. That's been sitting there for a while as well.
Can I get a motion on the property or any questions?
Motion to blight, Aaron.
Aaron motions, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Angela seconds. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
And that's what I have this month. Thank you, everyone.
Any other business? That was a lot.
Yeah, 8 properties. It's good.
What happened, Mike? Where'd we get 8 from? Just you're ready to go?
Well, we have stronger cases built up on some of these than we have in the past. So we try to build up enough cases if there is an appeal or later on when Aaron files the condemnation process, if it gets challenged, we have a significant enough case history that we feel confident in the challenges.
Yeah. Okay. All right. If there's no other questions, comments, or anything for the agenda, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Aaron moves, a second from David.
Second.
All right. All in favor, we'll adjourn. Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everyone.